Grüezi.
Wie geht's?
Danke. Es geht. Wie geht's?
Danke, es geht. Wie geht's?
Danke. Es geht.
Wie geht's?
Danke.
Danke. Es gut.
Wie geht's?
Danke, ist gut.
Wie geht's?
Danke. Es geht.
Wie geht's?
Danke. Es gut. Gut.
Wie geht's?
Danke. Es geht.
Geht's dir gut? Gut.
Ja, gut.
Gut. Geht's dir gut?
Ja, gut.
Gut. Geht's dir gut?
Ja, gut.
Danke, es geht.
Ja, gut.
Gut. Geht's dir gut? Gut. Geht's dir gut?
Ja,
Wie geht's? Geht's gut?
gut.
Geht's gut? Aha. Geht's gut? Ja, geht gut. Geht's gut? Ja. Wo wohnst
In Kiew?
du? Ah,
Wo wohnst
Chur, Schweiz. Wo wohnst
du? In Kiew.
du? Ah, Kiew. Wo wohnst du? Wohnst du in Kiew? Ah, wohnst du in Odessa? Odessa? Oder wohnst du in Kiew? Kiew. Nicht Odessa, nicht Odessa, Kiew. Wo wohnst du?
In Kiew. Wo wohnst
Ich wohne in Chur, in der Schweiz. Wohnst du in der Schweiz oder in Kiew? Kiew. Ah, Kiew. Okay, Kiew. Okay. So, this was just a demonstration how you can pick up language without having an explanation. This is actually how you learned languages when you were a child. Just by listening to your parents and repeating and repeating. And I think most people here learned Russian before you had grammar explanations.
Yeah.
Yes? Did you learn Russian like your mother tongue? So
50-50. Mother tongue is Ukrainian, but in the street we had
just by
Russian.
hearing. Okay. And this is actually what we call learning by acquisition. And the verb is acquire. It's actually the normal, natural method to learn languages. Now, just one question. Who of you here teaches English? Okay, so who does not teach English?
I
Yeah.
teach Spanish.
But you are interested. Good. Now, we don't need translation, so we have a little bit more time for exercises maybe. And also, if you want, you can ask me questions. Also, I have an email. If you have any questions, just come back to me. Maybe you want some ideas of books to read about this method. My name is Sina Stiffler, and I'm an English teacher. I have a master's degree from the University of Manchester. And they are quite specialized in teaching communicative approach. So it's maybe not a new method. We will find out how much of you know about the communicative approach. Maybe most of you here. For the last 15 years, actually I'm retired now. For the last 15 years, about once a year, I went abroad to do teacher training. And I would like just to tell you a bit in which countries I was, what kind of work it was, and can you help me? Can you help me with the presentation?
Oh, yes, I can.
And the main focus is always on teaching the communicative approach. I've usually been sent abroad by an organization called Swiss Contact. And the reason why I went somewhere was usually not the same as in the next place. This here is, as you can see, in Mongolia. In Mongolia, during the Russian time, they had to learn Russian for about 70 years. Actually, a lot of Mongolians went to Russia to study. They are quite thankful for that now. A lot of Mongolians still can speak Russian, which was good for me because I cannot speak Mongolian. Just zeggen, sanbeno, but that's all. So here, they invited me to do a teacher training. They had been teaching Russian before, and the government decided everybody had to change from Russian to English. I don't know if this was a good idea, because the Russian teaching, I think, was quite good, because they were good at Russian. And now I have been back to Mongolia, and people just cannot speak English because of bad teaching. I will tell you more about this. Just next one, please. Or can I do it myself? Or I can do it. Just tell me why. Okay. This is Mongolia. In September, I was back in Mongolia after, I think, 12 years. I haven't been there. I was in the west of Mongolia in a city called Hoft. It's the capital of the Western Aimak, they call it, close to Kazakhstan and close to Siberia. And I met these wonderful people on the main square in Hoft. And also, here I did teacher training. This was at the University of Hoft. The problem, again, is some teachers can do it quite well. Their English is good, and some people's English is just very bad. They should stick to Russian. And what comes out, people just tell me, sorry, no, sorry. Just when I ask them, can you speak English? Can you speak Russian? Maybe, but yeah, I will tell you more in a minute. When Mongolian students go to university, there are about 18, and I was told they had 7 years of English. Okay, 7 years. How wonderful in Mongolia, because the government decided no Russian, teach English. 7 years? So I thought 7 years, that should be at least pre-intermediate. Yes, B1, B2. So I prepared lessons for intermediate students. Okay. Which you can do a lot of things. You can discuss, you can express opinions, you can talk about your hobbies, about families, etc., etc. However, I soon found out students were not able to make a question. I asked them, how many brothers and sisters do you have? Ask each other, can you imagine? 7 years of English, maybe 120 lessons per year, so multiply, more than 800 lessons of English, and they cannot speak.
Unfortunately, in Ukraine, the situation is much better.
Don't tell me.
In some schools.
It depends on schools, but
yes.
still.
Yeah. And why is this, and this is just a topic here, and we can discuss it. I just couldn't believe it and thought, what a shame. It's such a waste of time. If you teach and they cannot speak, do something else. No need. Why is it? Because teachers cannot do their job. They have not had good teacher training. And if they have not had good teacher training, what do they do? What would you do? If you had to speak, let's say, Arab tomorrow, you just take the book and write on the board what is in the book. And students have to copy. This is all you can do, yes? Is this how it is done in Ukraine? Grammar on the board, present continuous, yes?
Sometimes yes,
And now go home and learn it by heart, and we will have a test.
sometimes yes.
Oh, yeah. Okay, Mongolia used to be a communist country, as I said, and a lot of people studied in Russia. This is what I already said. I speak freely, and then I don't stick to the paper. So I also saw it in Ukraine. I told you I was in different places in Ukraine, and it also sometimes was just the grammar translation method. Also, they do a lot of dictations. Why? Why? Because it's easy. You just stand in front of the class and dictate, then you correct and mark and finish. But do you dictate a lot now in your classes? Not anymore? Why not?
But parents won't.
Hmm?
Parents want us to
Yeah,
check
yeah.
why no dictation.
Yeah.
You didn't give any vocabulary for dictation. What you are doing? What are you doing?
Yeah, this
so
is a bit
they
of the
want.
The same with the vocabulary. You want less of the words.
Ukrainian and English, because parents don't know. And this was the way they were taught.
Yes.
And they think it's too easy now. Maybe they think they only play games. They don't really learn. And we'll come back to the difference of learning and acquisition. Actually, I was taught, I learned 4 languages, and all with grammar translation method. This is how it was. Was it a big problem? No, not really, because people did not meet. I learned French, but I had nobody to talk French to. And also, when I learned French, I would never have gone to the teacher and spoke to him in French. I was afraid of making mistakes. And this is one of the first things. Yes, she's nodding. Tell your students, please talk. It doesn't matter if you make a mistake. It's not the end of the world. So, were you taught like this? Were you taught with the old grammar translation method?
Yes.
With list of words and, yeah. I think it has also changed in Ukraine, maybe not. I hope from tomorrow. When I was studying, correct grammar was important, of course. I got marks. Reading literature was in the forefront. But now, why should we teach Shakespeare? It's much too difficult. They can go to England if they want to learn about Shakespeare later. Come in. Пожалуйста.
Okay, I will go inside.
Okay. You want to stay outside. Very good. Speaking, communicating was not taught. And we never had a chance to listen to spoken language. Because I grew up in the German part of Switzerland, and I heard the German. I did not even have a radio when I was a child. So learning languages, the purpose was just learning about translating and literature. Even now, when I talk about English teaching, people said, so you teach Shakespeare. Do you teach Shakespeare?
Yeah, biography, why not?
On what
Some
level?
Sonnets, some sonnets of Shakespeare.
Yeah, but on what level? In second year, third year, fourth year?
No, the 7th or the 8th.
Yes, of course. Fine, but not with beginners. Actually, this situation changed in the 80s. Do you know about the communicative approach?
Of course.
Of course, yeah. You say of course, be quiet. The others? Yes, no?
Yes.
Yeah. And it started, someone said, please give me a fire. Because this is what we say in German. In German it is, bitte gib mir Feuer, please give me fire. But in English, what is it? When you want to have a cigarette and you want to have it lightened, you say, please? Please?
Please give me a light.
Yes, please give me a light. So as teachers, we have to teach what people would use and not just translate, please give me a fire. Nobody will understand and think, okay, oh my God, she's a criminal. How do you say it in Russian?
Можно, you can say about the fire also in Russian. I don't smoke, but I heard.
Yeah. Please, пожалуйста, дайте мне огонь.
Yes, огонь. Огонь.
Это хорошо. But not in English. Please give me a light. So instead of translating, it is better when you give whole chunks of language to students and they have to find out about themselves. Or when you do a listening comprehension, I hope you have good books, Headway, Oxford, Cambridge, etc. Do you explain the words first? Yeah. Better just tell them what it's about, maybe give them 3 or 4 new words and have them listen. Books closed, yes? That's what you do. Books closed, yes. And then again, listen again and then do some listening questions, comprehension questions. No opening the books. Only 3rd time. 2 times without a pair work. Do you do pair work? Yeah, I think you're all our teachers. What are you doing here? We can just exchange ideas. And then next one, please. And here, this is not Mongolia. This is in Ukraine. No, I never taught in Russia. It's in Ukraine, in Kirovograd. I was first time in Kirovograd in a very good commercial school. I look a bit younger. And it was very good, very nice. We did a lot of communicative activities. A very good school also. Next one, please. This is in Nepal. Quite different. Teachers actually very badly trained. They couldn't do much. And thing is, in Nepal now about 25% of students go to private schools. Parents want private schools, it's much better. And all subjects, beside Nepali, all subjects are taught in English. Have to. Come on, teachers cannot speak English. How can you teach all subjects in English if you don't know the language? And what happens is they stand in front of students and just read in bad English. Then they copy on the blackboard. Students have to copy. Not much comes out of it. This is the tragedy in the world. Everybody thinks they have to learn English, and very often not much comes out of it. Okay? And this is with the same teachers. We did a project about Switzerland. They had to just find pictures and to discuss it. So I tried to show them how we should do group work, how we should communicate, etc. Please. Where is this? Ukraine. This is in Bar, not far from Vinica. And the director had invited me because he knew about the projects, but he could not speak English, and he thought I was just there as a guest. And he invited all the teachers to tell them I was here, but he did not tell them she has come to work with the English teachers. And so we discussed it, and I said, come on, I have come to work with the teachers. And if I cannot work with the teachers, I can leave tomorrow. So he invited them, and we had about 10 English teachers. They had never heard about the communicative approach. They just translated. No, but it was wonderful. Very nice ladies, young ladies. I was there maybe 1 month, and it was wonderful to work with them. told them how it works, how they have to do pair work, and I went with them to their classes, and we worked together, and that was fun. Okay, next. And this is in Ukraine, in Poltava. In Poltava, there is a quite a good private school, and they also invite teachers from abroad. Most teachers are quite good. They also do communicative activities, and I thought it was quite good. I don't know. I just want to tell you some story of my family. My son learned French for 7 years. And when he had A-levels, he decided to study in a university in the French part of Switzerland. We have 3 main languages in Switzerland. So, which was good, so he went there and he rented a room with a landlady. And she was so nice and invited him for dinner. And he came back and said, yes, it's a nice room, nice lady, and I will stay in that room. Only when the landlady asked me in French if he wanted to eat more, Mother, what must I say when someone asks me if I want to eat more? What must I say? And I said, okay, in French. Just say, thank you. I have had enough. Merci beaucoup. C'est assez. No, he said, the problem was I wanted to eat more, but I couldn't say it. See, not only in Mongolia, Nepal, also in Switzerland. Not such a long time ago, people learn languages and cannot express themselves.
Is it better now?
Sorry?
Is it better now?
I hope so. Yeah, teachers are better trained, and books are much better. And we have a lot of CDs and tapes. And people go abroad for courses. I think with English it's much better. French, people don't really like to learn French so much because it's quite a complicated language. We'll come back to that. Someone said, when I went to a seminar for teachers, he said, languages were actually taught to be a failure. You can go on, please. Oh, no, this is in Africa. I also was in Burkina Faso. How nice. It's wonderful. They speak French in Africa because it used to be a French colony. And why did they have to learn English in Burkina Faso? Why? First, they did not understand. The reason is because 2 neighboring states have English, also from the time of colonization. And when they go to Nigeria, they must speak English. This is the only reason. They never go to England. They never go to America. The reason is because they must be able to communicate with people in Ghana and Nigeria. So their English was actually very bad. They had a very nice teacher from Togo who was very good, and we are still in contact, and he still tells me that he uses the methods he learned from me. But the kids are just very nice. Please go on. This is not Ukraine. This is Myanmar. In Switzerland there is a foundation. Someone opened a school for very poor children in Myanmar. And they said, if we want to give them a chance in their life, they should learn good English. But again, for good English, you need good teachers. So they had two teachers. Actually, they were quite good. But we had to work on their methodology, and I was there 3 times. And I tell you, they are the sweetest kids. People in Myanmar are just very, very nice. So next time I came, the teachers had left. because they already found better jobs, so we had to start again. Next time I came, there was no English teacher at all, so I did not have to teach the teachers, but I had to teach English. Okay, here, this is actually celebrating birthday. They all had their birthday in the same month, and everybody went there and congratulated. Okay, next. So, problem with the grammar translating method. The students don't learn to speak freely. Okay, please. And now, I don't know about teaching now in Ukraine, you know better. Just about Poltava. In that good school in Poltava, they had about 10 English teachers. They came to the teacher training. I was not the first teacher from Switzerland there, but the director's former wife, she did not go. She did not go to the teacher training. She taught the old grammar translation method. Once she invited me to her class. Students had to read aloud the text. Then they translated the text into Ukrainian, and the homework was translated back into English. And these students were bored and loud and could not speak at all. Yes? Mm-hmm. A couple of years ago, I was invited to do a teacher training in a hotel management school in Cambodia. The English teacher said he was teaching every day one letter. And today it was E. Word with E, like ear, ears, evil, 11. I thought, oh my God, but these words don't sound the same. Yes. Yeah, but that's just the way he thought he could do it. I said, yeah, but they come to a hotel management school and they have to work with the customers. So why don't you teach language they will use in the hotel? Like, what sentences do you need in a hotel? Yes, or can I clean your room? Something like this. And can I help you, or can I clean your room? We call it functional language. Yeah, you all know, that's very good. Which is much better. This is what they need. So we bought a good book, and afterwards I worked with these teachers, and I hope it was better afterwards. Now, I think the old method was fine before people did travel. And now the world has become globalized, which means when we are globalized, we need a language to communicate. Why English? We will come back to this. Maybe another language. And not only must we teach to read and write, but also to understand native speakers, which can be quite a problem. Do you often listen to native speakers? Americans can be quite difficult. England, maybe you understand people from London, which does not mean that you understand Scottish people. Mm-hmm. Yeah? So in good course books, you now hear various accents, mm-hmm. so that your students get used to them. And also, with globalization, we have the problem that a lot of companies are outsourced. You don't understand outsource? Mm-hmm. Like, there's a company in England, and they think the salary they pay is too high. So they move the whole thing to countries like Ukraine, but maybe Ukraine is too expensive already. No? Yeah. No? Okay. Oh, Ukraine. So they have to communicate with the people, the Ukrainian people have to communicate with the people in England. But maybe the people in England, they are not in London, they are somewhere in the northwest of the country with a very heavy accent. So they have courses in these new companies to listen to the accent the people in England have. Or with America, I tell you, with people from Denver, I have the greatest problem to understand. English is not English, and it's not only America and England. Where do they speak English else?
What countries? Australia, Canada,
Do you understand the Canadians?
New Zealand, India.
It's still okay. Canada is quite easy. What about India?
Yeah, it's sometimes difficult to understand.
Yes, their English is very good, but they have a strong accent. And the problem in India is it's a huge country with 1 billion people, but they only understand each other when they speak no English. Hindi is only in the north. In the south, in Kerala, you have Mumbai is Marathi. They don't understand each other. When you speak to young people from India now, who do not come from the same cities, they often speak English together.